What if the most important relationship you will ever have is not the one you have been chasing? What if it is not the one you lost? Not the one you are hoping will finally arrive and make everything feel whole again? What if the relationship that determines every single outcome in your life, every opportunity you attract, every door that opens or stays locked, every morning that feels heavy or light, has been sitting right inside your own chest this entire time, waiting for you to turn around and notice it? Most people will never hear this. Not because it is hidden, not because it is complicated, but because the world has trained you since birth to look outward for the very thing that can only be found within. You were taught to earn love, to perform for approval, to shrink yourself into shapes that made other people comfortable. And somewhere along the way, without anyone ever saying it directly, you absorbed a belief so deep it became invisible. The belief that you are not enough on your own. That you need someone, something, some external validation to make you real, to make you worthy, to make you chosen. And so you waited. You waited for the parent who would finally say, "I am proud of you," and mean it in the way your soul needed to hear it. You waited for the friend who would fight for you the way you always fought for them. You waited for the partner who would see you, truly see you, not the mask, not the performance, but the raw, trembling truth of who you are underneath all the armor. You waited for the boss, the teacher, the mentor, the stranger on the internet, anyone, to look at you and say, "Yes, you are the one." And while you waited, something devastating happened. You abandoned yourself, quietly, gradually, so slowly you did not even notice it was happening. You stopped listening to your own voice. You stopped honoring your own needs. You stopped choosing yourself because you were so busy auditioning for everyone else's approval that you forgot you were the one person whose approval actually mattered. Let that land for a moment. You have been waiting your entire life for someone to choose you, and the person who was always supposed to choose you first was you. This is not a motivational cliche. This is not something you put on a coffee mug and forget by Tuesday. This is the deepest spiritual and scientific truth about how reality actually works. And if you stay with me through this, if you let these words move through you instead of just past you, something inside you is going to shift. Not because I am giving you anything new, but because I am going to help you remember something you have always known but were taught to forget. Think about the very first time you learned that love was conditional. You may not remember the exact moment. It may not have been dramatic. It may not have been what the world would call traumatic. But somewhere in your earliest years, you received a message. And the message was this: who you are right now is not enough. You need to be different, better, quieter, louder, smarter, more obedient, less emotional, more productive, less needy. Whatever the specific flavor was in your household, the underlying frequency was the same. Love is not free. Love is earned. Love is a transaction. And you, in your current form, have not yet met the price. Now here is what no one tells you. A child cannot question that message. A child does not have the cognitive architecture to say, "Wait, maybe the adults around me are wounded and projecting their own unresolved pain onto me." A child does not think that way. A child thinks in the most simple and devastating logic imaginable. If the people who are supposed to love me do not fully love me as I am, then something must be wrong with me. Not with them, with me. And that thought, That single unconscious conclusion becomes the operating system for your entire life. It becomes the lens through which you interpret every interaction, every relationship, every opportunity, every failure, every success. It becomes the invisible filter that distorts everything you see and everything you believe about yourself. You carry that program into your teenage years, where it mutates, where it learns to wear new disguises. Maybe it becomes the class clown who makes everyone laugh so no one notices the ache underneath. Maybe it becomes the perfectionist who gets straight grades because achievement feels like the closest thing to love. Maybe it becomes the rebel who pushes everyone away first because rejection feels safer when you are the one initiating it. Maybe it becomes the people pleaser who says yes to everything and everyone while slowly disappearing from their own life. These are not personality traits. These are survival strategies. Brilliant ones, actually. You built them when you were small, and the world was overwhelming, and you had no other tools. You adapted. You shape-shifted. You figured out what each environment required, and you became that thing. Because becoming that thing meant you got to stay. You got to belong. You got to receive at least a fraction of the love you needed to survive. But here's the cost. And this is the part that will change everything if you let it. Every time you became what someone else needed you to be, you moved one step further from who you actually are. Every mask you put on was a tiny act of self-abandonment. Every time you silenced your truth to keep the peace, you declared war on yourself. Every time you chose someone else's comfort over your own integrity, you sent a message to the deepest part of your being that said you do not matter. Your feelings do not matter. Your needs do not matter. Your voice does not matter. The only thing that matters is making sure everyone else is okay, and you have been running that program for years, maybe decades, running it so long that you forgot it was a program at all. You thought it was just who you are. You thought you were naturally the one who gives too much, naturally the one who attracts people who take, naturally the one who ends up exhausted and empty and wondering why nothing ever seems to work out, no matter how hard you try. But that is not who you are. That is who you became in response to a world that asked you to be something other than yourself. And the most revolutionary act you will ever commit is to stop performing, to stop auditioning, to stop waiting for permission from the outside to be who you already are on the inside. If this message is already stirring something inside you, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss what comes next. There is something happening in your body right now as you hear these words. You might feel it in your chest, a tightness and strength opening. Something stirring that has been dormant for a long time. That is not discomfort. That is recognition. That is the part of you that has been waiting in the dark, waiting for you to come back, waiting for you to turn your attention inward and say, I see you. I know you are there, and I am not leaving again. Let me speak to that part of you directly now. I want to speak to the child you once were, the one who tried so hard to make sense of a world that did not make sense, the one who lay awake at night listening to arguments through thin walls, wondering if it was somehow your fault, the one who learned to read the energy of a room before you could read a book, because knowing whether someone was angry or sad or about to explode was a matter of emotional survival. The one who thought, if I am good enough, quiet enough, invisible enough, maybe the chaos will stop. Maybe they will be happy. Maybe then I will be safe. I see you. And I need you to hear something that no one said to you when it mattered most. You were never the problem. Not once. Not ever. You were a child standing in the middle of other people's storms, and you thought the rain was your fault. But it was never your fault. The adults around you were carrying their own wounds, their own unprocessed grief, their own inherited trauma passed down through generations like a language no one chose to learn, but everyone spoke fluently. And you, with your wide open heart and your desperate need to be loved, you absorbed it all. You took it in and made it yours because that is what children do. They cannot separate themselves from their environment. They become their environment. And I want to speak to the teenager you became, the one who started building walls because the openness hurt too much, the one who learned that showing emotion was weakness, that vulnerability was an invitation for people to hurt you, that the safest strategy was to need no one and expect nothing. You learned to perform indifference. You learned to act like you did not care about the grade, the rejection, the friendship that ended without explanation, the parent who was there but not really there. You wore that armor so well that eventually even you believed it was your skin. But underneath the armor, you were still that same child, still wanting the same thing, still aching for someone to look past the performance and say, I know this is not really you. I know you are hurting. And it is okay. You do not have to pretend with me. Most people never got that moment. And so the armor stayed, and it thickened, and it became the foundation upon which you built your adult life. A life that might look functional from the outside. A life with routines and responsibilities and relationships that seem normal enough. But underneath, there is this constant hum, this low-frequency vibration of exhaustion and emptiness, and the quiet question that surfaces in the dark hours. Is this really it? Is this all there is? Why does everything feel like so much effort? Why do I feel so alone even when I am surrounded by people? That hum is not depression, though it might wear that mask sometimes. That hum is the sound of a life built on self-abandonment. It is the sound of a soul that has been contorting itself into shapes it was never meant to hold. It is the sound of your deepest self knocking on the door of your awareness, saying, please come home. Please stop running. Please stop looking out there for what has always been in here. I want to pause here and ask you something. When did you first realize you had been abandoning yourself? Was there a specific moment, a relationship, a breaking point where you suddenly saw the pattern? Share that moment in the comments because your story might be the exact thing someone else needs to hear today. And this is where everything changes. Because the moment you understand that you have been abandoning yourself, you also understand that you have the power to stop. Not someday. Not when you have healed enough. Not when you have read enough books or attended enough workshops or found the right therapist or the right partner or the right circumstance. Now, in this breath, in this moment, you can choose differently. Choosing yourself is not selfish. I need you to hear that again because the programming runs deep. Choosing yourself is not selfish. The world taught you that putting yourself first is arrogant, narcissistic, unkind. The world taught you that good people sacrifice. Good people give until they are empty. Good people put everyone else's needs before their own and then feel guilty for having needs at all. But that teaching was never wisdom. It was a control mechanism. It kept you small. It kept you manageable. It kept you producing and performing and people-pleasing while your own fire slowly went out. The truth is the opposite of what you were taught. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot love others fully when you are starving for your own love. You cannot hold space for anyone else when you have never held space for yourself. Every relationship you enter from a place of self-abandonment will eventually become a mirror reflecting that abandonment back to you. You will attract people who treat you exactly the way you treat yourself, not because the universe is punishing you, but because reality is a mirror. It can only reflect what you are projecting. This is not metaphor. This is how consciousness actually works. Quantum physics has shown us that the observer affects the observed, that particles behave differently when they are being watched, that the act of observation itself changes the outcome of an experiment. You are the observer of your life, and the way you observe yourself, the beliefs you hold about yourself, the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve, that is the observation that is collapsing the wave function of your reality into the specific experiences you keep having. If you observe yourself as unworthy, reality arranges itself to confirm that observation. If you observe yourself as someone who is always left, always overlooked, always the backup plan and never the first choice, then reality will keep delivering experiences that match that frequency. Not because you are cursed, not because you are unlucky, but because consciousness creates reality. And your consciousness has been tuned to a frequency of unworthiness for so long that it feels like the truth. But it was never the truth. It was just the program. And programs can be rewritten. But here is what most people get wrong about this process. They think choosing yourself means forcing positive thoughts, repeating affirmations you do not believe, standing in front of a mirror saying, "I love myself," while every cell in your body screams, "No, you do not." That approach does not work because it is just another performance, another mask, another layer of pretending on top of the wound instead of actually touching the wound itself. Choosing yourself is not a thought exercise. It is a felt experience. It happens in the body, not just the mind. It happens when you stop running from the pain and turn toward it. When you stop numbing and start feeling. When you let the grief move through you instead of around you. When you sit with the parts of yourself you have been rejecting, and instead of trying to fix them or hide them or transcend them, you simply say, "I see you. You are welcome here. You do not have to change for me to love you." That is the practice. And it is the hardest thing you will ever do. Harder than any achievement. Harder than any external success, because it requires you to be present with the very feelings you have spent your entire life avoiding. What we have touched on here, this understanding of how your inner frequency shapes every relationship and every reality you experience, this is only the surface of how deep this goes. If you are ready to explore the complete system, the 9 master frequencies that move you from unconscious self-abandonment to consciously becoming the broadcast of your own life, my book Beyond the Frequencies, A Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery, walks you through every layer of this transformation step by step. It is linked in the pinned comment below. Think about what you do when uncomfortable emotions arise. When sadness surfaces, what is your first instinct? When anger flares, what do you reach for? When loneliness hits, where do you go? Most people have an entire arsenal of escape routes. The phone, the food, the drink, the scroll, the binge. the relationship, the work, the busyness, anything at all, to avoid sitting still with what is actually happening inside. And every time you escape, you send that same old message. Your feelings are too much. You cannot handle this. You need something outside yourself to make this bearable. Every escape is an act of self-abandonment disguised as self-care. Real self-care is not a bath bomb. Real self-care is sitting on the bathroom floor at 2 in the morning, letting yourself cry without trying to stop it. Real self-care is feeling the anger without throwing it at someone else or swallowing it back down. Real self-care is letting your body shake and tremble and release whatever it has been holding without judging the process or rushing to the other side. Real self-care is being your own witness, your own companion, your own safe place. And this is where the science becomes mystical. Because when you actually allow an emotion to move through your body without resistance, something extraordinary happens. The emotion completes its cycle. It rises, peaks, and dissolves. Usually in about 90 seconds if you do not feed it with more story, more analysis, more narrative. 90 seconds. That is all it takes for the pure energy of an emotion to move through your nervous system and release. But most people never let it complete because they interrupt it. They judge it. They suppress it. They distract from it. And so the emotion gets trapped, stored in the tissues, held in the fascia, locked in the muscles, and it stays there, sometimes for years, sometimes for decades, creating tension and disease and chronic patterns that no amount of thinking can resolve. Your body is not your enemy. I need you to understand this at the deepest level. Your body is the most loyal companion you have ever had. It has been carrying you through every single moment of your life without a single day off. Your heart has been beating since before you were born. Your lungs have been breathing without you having to remember. Your cells have been regenerating, repairing, fighting off threats you never even knew about. Your body has been on your side every single second, even when you were at war with it. Even when you starved it, or stuffed it, or pushed it past its limits, or looked at it in the mirror with disgust. It kept going. It kept showing up for you. And your mind, your beautiful, terrifying, relentless mind, it is not your enemy either. It is a protection system that learned its job in childhood and never got the memo that you are safe now. When it loops in anxiety, it is not trying to torture you. It is scanning for threats the way it learned to scan when threats were real and constant. When it tells you do not try, you will fail. It is not being cruel. It is trying to shield you from the pain of disappointment, the only way it knows how. When it replays old memories and old hurts, it is not being vindictive. It is trying to process what was never fully processed. It is trying to complete the story so it can finally let it go. Your mind needs your compassion, not your combat. Your body needs your tenderness, not your control. And your heart, the part of you that still feels everything even after all it has been through, your heart needs your presence. Not your analysis, not your strategy, your presence. So let me ask you something, and I want you to sit with this question instead of rushing past it. When was the last time you were truly present with yourself? Not distracted, not performing, not trying to fix or improve or optimize, just present, just here, just sitting with the full weight and wonder of being alive in this body, in this moment, with this breath. If you cannot remember, that is not a failure. That is information. That is showing you how long you have been away from yourself, how long you have been living in the future or the past, in the plans or the regrets, in the fantasy of what might be or the grief of what was, instead of here, in the only place where life actually happens, in the only moment where change is actually possible, now. And now is where you make the choice. Not a dramatic, cinematic choice. Not a choice that requires a speech or a ceremony or a complete overhaul of your life by morning. A quiet choice. A choice so small that your fear does not even notice it at first. The choice to stay. The choice to stop running. The choice to turn toward yourself instead of away. I want you to try something, if you are willing. Place your hand over your heart. You do not have to close your eyes if that does not feel safe. You do not have to do anything performative. Just place your hand there and feel what is underneath. Feel the beat. That rhythm that has been with you since the very beginning. That pulse that never stopped. Not during the worst night of your life. Not during the moment you thought you could not go on. Not during the season where everything fell apart and you did not know how you would survive. It kept going. You kept going. And I want you to say something to yourself. Not out loud if that feels strange. You can say it silently. You can just think it. But mean it. Even if only 10% of you means it right now. That 10% is enough. Say this. I am here. I am not leaving. I choose you. Feel what happens in your body when you direct those words inward. Feel the resistance if it comes. Feel the emotion if it rises. Feel the part of you that says this is ridiculous, and the part of you underneath that one that is weeping with relief because it has waited so long to hear those words from the only person whose voice it truly recognizes as home. This is not a one-time exercise. This is a practice, a daily practice, a moment-by-moment practice. Because the programming of self-abandonment did not install overnight, and it will not uninstall overnight either. It will take repetition. It will take patience. It will take the willingness to fail at it and come back, and fail again, and come back again. Not because you are weak, but because you are rewiring decades of conditioning. You are teaching your nervous system a new language. You are showing the most ancient parts of your brain that safety does not come from external approval. Safety comes from your own unwavering presence with yourself. And here is what begins to happen when you practice this. When you stop abandoning yourself, you stop tolerating abandonment from others, not from a place of anger or bitterness, from a place of clarity. You start to notice the relationships that are built on your performance rather than your presence. You start to feel the difference between people who love you and people who love what you do for them. You start to recognize the patterns you have been repeating, the same dynamic with different faces, the same wound playing out in different settings. And instead of blaming yourself or blaming them, you see the pattern for what it is. A reflection of an internal relationship that is ready to change. What is one pattern you keep repeating in your relationships that you now realize might be a reflection of how you have been treating yourself? Drop it in the comments. Sometimes naming the pattern out loud is the first step to breaking it. Your external relationships can only be as healthy as your internal one. That is not a limitation. That is a liberation. Because it means you do not have to wait for anyone else to change. You do not have to wait for the right person to show up. You do not have to wait for the world to become kinder or fairer or more just. You can begin right now, right here, with the relationship that shapes all other relationships, the one between you. And when that relationship begins to shift, watch what happens to your reality. Watch how the people who were drawn to your old frequency start to fall away. Not because you pushed them out, because the signal changed. Watch how new people begin to appear. People who match the frequency of someone who has chosen themselves. People who do not need you to perform. People who are not threatened by your boundaries. People who can meet you in your wholeness because they are doing their own work of becoming whole. Watch how opportunities begin to align. Not because you are manifesting from a vision board, but because when you are no longer spending all your energy maintaining masks and managing other people's perceptions, you have an enormous amount of creative life force available for the things that actually matter to you. The projects that light you up, the ideas that have been waiting in the wings, the purpose that has been whispering underneath all the noise. This is not magic. This is physics. This is the reorganization of energy that happens when a system comes into coherence. When your thoughts and your feelings and your actions are all aligned with the same signal. When you are no longer broadcasting contradictory frequencies. When you are no longer saying, "I want love," while believing, "I do not deserve it," reality responds. It has to. Because reality is not separate from consciousness. Reality is consciousness expressing itself in form. You are not a passive observer of a fixed universe. You are an active participant in a responsive field. And the field is always listening to what you believe about yourself. Not what you say you believe. Not what you post online. Not what you tell your friends. What you actually believe in the quiet moments when no one is watching. What you believe when you are alone with your own thoughts at 3 a.m. That is the frequency that is creating your life. So I want to ask you again, what do you believe about yourself when no one is watching? Do you believe you are worthy of love without earning it? Do you believe you are allowed to take up space without apologizing for it? Do you believe your needs matter as much as everyone else's? Do you believe you are allowed to rest without having to justify it with productivity? Do you believe you are allowed to say no without providing a detailed explanation? Do you believe you are allowed to change your mind, to outgrow people, to walk away from situations that no longer serve you, to disappoint others in service of your own integrity? If the honest answer to any of those questions is no, that is not a condemnation. That is a starting point. That is the exact place where the work begins. Not in the places where you already feel strong, in the places where you still feel small, in the beliefs you have not yet questioned, in the stories you have been telling yourself so long, they feel like facts. They are not facts. They are programs. And you are not the program. You are the awareness that can observe the program. You are the consciousness that can watch the thought arise and choose not to follow it. You are the presence that exists before the story, beneath the story, beyond the story. And that presence, that awareness, that is who you really are. Not the wounded child, not the armored teenager, not the exhausted adult. Those are experiences you have had. They are not what you are. What you are is the space in which all of those experiences arise and dissolve. What you are is the awareness that has been present through every single version of yourself you have ever been. The awareness that watched the child suffer and the teenager rebel and the adult struggle. The awareness that is here right now, listening to these words, feeling whatever is moving through your body, noticing whatever thoughts are arising in your mind. That awareness has never been damaged. It has never been broken. It has never been diminished by anything that happened to you. It is whole. It has always been whole. And it is waiting for you to recognize it as your truest self. This is what the mystics meant when they said, "The kingdom of heaven is within." This is what the quantum physicists are pointing to when they talk about the observer. This is what every wisdom tradition throughout human history has been trying to communicate in different languages and different metaphors. You are not the content of your experience. You are the context in which experience happens, and that context is vast and luminous and indestructible. When you begin to identify with that awareness instead of with the stories, everything changes. Not because the stories disappear. They may still arise. The voice that says you are not enough may still whisper from time to time. The old patterns may still surface, but you are no longer enslaved by them. You can hear the voice and not believe it. You can feel the pattern and not follow it. You can hold the pain and not become it. Because you know, not as a concept, but as a lived experience, that you are bigger than any story. You are deeper than any wound. You are more vast than any limitation your mind has ever constructed. And from that place, from that recognition, choosing yourself is no longer an effort. It is a natural expression of who you are. You do not have to force yourself to set boundaries when you know your own worth. You do not have to struggle to know when you are grounded in your own presence. You do not have to fight for self-love when you have realized that love is not something you earn. It is something you are. Let me say that again, because it might be the most important thing you hear today. Love is not something you earn. It is something you are. You do not need to become worthy of love. You are love expressing itself in human form. You do not need to achieve your way into deserving. You were deserving before you ever took your first breath, not because of anything you did, but because of what you are. And I know that part of you resists this. I know there is a voice inside that says, "But you do not know what I have done. You do not know what has happened to me. You do not know how broken I am." And I hear that voice. I honor that voice. I understand why it speaks. But I also know that voice is the program talking. It is the wound talking. It is the story talking. And you are not the story. You are the one who can hear the story and choose a different response. You are the one who can feel the wound and bring compassion instead of judgment. You are the one who can look at every version of yourself you have ever been. The child, the teenager, the adult, the one who made mistakes, the one who hurt people, the one who was hurt, the one who gave up, the one who stayed too long, the one who left too soon. And instead of condemning any of them, you can gather them all into your awareness and say, "You are all welcome here. You are all part of me, and I choose, all of you." That is what it means to choose yourself. Not choosing the polished version, not choosing the healed version, not choosing the version that has it all figured out. Choosing the whole messy, complicated, contradictory, beautiful, devastating, miraculous totality of who you are. Right now, as you are. Not as you wish you were. Not as you think you should be. As you are. And when you make that choice, when you really make it, not as a thought, but as a full-body commitment, something happens that is difficult to describe but impossible to miss. A warmth spreads through your chest. A tension you did not even know you were carrying begins to release. Your breath deepens on its own. Your shoulders drop. Your jaw unclenches. And for a moment, maybe just a moment, you feel what it is like to come home to yourself, to stop fighting, to stop running, to stop performing, and just be here, held by your own presence, witnessed by your own awareness, chosen by your own heart. That moment is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning. Because tomorrow you will wake up and the world will be loud again. The demands will return. The old patterns will knock on the door. The voices will whisper their familiar lies. And you will have a choice. The same choice you have every single morning. To abandon yourself again or to stay. And some days you will forget. Some days the programming will run, and you will people please and overextend and ignore your own needs and fall back into the old patterns. And that is not failure. That is being human. The practice is not about being perfect. The practice is about returning, again and again and again. Every time you notice you have abandoned yourself, that noticing is the practice. That awareness is the choice. The moment you realize you have left, you are already on your way back. So be patient with yourself. Be as patient with yourself as you would be with a child learning to walk. You would not scream at a toddler for falling down. You would not tell a child they are worthless because they stumbled. You would kneel beside them and smile and say, "Try again. I am right here. I believe in you." Offer yourself that same grace, that same gentleness, that same unwavering belief, because you have survived everything that has ever happened to you. Every loss, every betrayal, every disappointment, every dark night, every moment where you thought, "This is it. I cannot go on." And yet here you are, still breathing, still listening, still open enough to let these words reach whatever part of you needed to hear them today. That is not weakness. That is the most extraordinary strength there is. The strength to remain soft in a world that rewards hardness. The strength to keep feeling in a culture that celebrates numbness. The strength to keep hoping in an environment that calls hope naive. You are not naive. You are brave. Braver than you know. Braver than anyone has ever told you. And so tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon, wherever you are in the cycle of your day, I invite you to make a quiet commitment, not a grand declaration, not a dramatic transformation, just a whisper, a promise so soft that only you and the deepest part of yourself can hear it. I choose you. Not because you are perfect, not because you have earned it, not because you have finally become the person you think you are supposed to be. I choose you because you are here, because you are real, because you are mine. The only self I will ever have, the only life I will ever live through these eyes. And I am done waiting for someone else to give me permission to love what has always been worthy of love. I choose to listen when my body says rest instead of pushing through to prove something to someone who is not even watching. I choose to speak kindly to myself even when I fall short, especially when I fall short. I choose to set boundaries not as walls of anger, but as fences of self-respect. I choose to let go of relationships that require me to abandon myself as the price of admission. I choose to pursue the things that make my soul feel alive, even if they do not make sense to anyone else. I choose to stop comparing my journey to journeys that were never mine to walk. I choose to forgive myself, not because what happened does not matter, but because carrying it is heavier than letting it go. I choose to trust that the same intelligence that beats my heart and grows my cells and turns seeds into forests knows how to guide my life if I stop drowning out its signal with noise and fear and other people's opinions. I choose myself, fully, finally, not as an act of arrogance, as an act of coming home. Consider sharing this with someone you know who has been abandoning themselves the way you once did. When you pass this message forward, you create a ripple in the collective field, because the frequency of self-choosing does not stay contained. It radiates outward, strengthening your own alignment while awakening that same recognition in someone else. One act of sharing can become the moment another person finally turns around and comes home to themselves. And if you are hearing this and something inside you is stirring, if there is a lump in your throat, or a heat behind your eyes, or a trembling in your chest, do not push it down. That is not weakness rising. That is truth rising. That is the part of you that has been waiting in the dark for years, decades maybe, finally feeling the light of your own attention. Let it come. Let it move. Let it be exactly what it is without trying to control it, or understand it, or make it presentable. You do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to know what comes next. You do not have to transform overnight, or have a perfect plan or feel ready. You just have to be willing to stay, willing to feel, willing to choose yourself one breath at a time, one moment at a time, one small, invisible act of loyalty at a time, and those small acts will compound. The way drops of water eventually shape stone, the way a single degree of course correction over thousands of miles leads you to an entirely different destination. You do not need to make a massive change. You need to make a true one. And the truest change you will ever make is the decision to stop abandoning the one person who has been with you through every single moment of your existence. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are exactly where you need to be to begin. And beginning is all that is required. The rest will unfold. Not because you forced it, but because when you come into alignment with your own truth, life has a way of reorganizing itself around that alignment. Doors open that you did not even know existed. People appear who speak the language of your soul. Circumstances shift in ways that your mind could never have planned, but your heart somehow always knew were possible. This is what happens when you stop waiting to be chosen and choose yourself. The whole universe begins to reflect that choice back to you. Not as reward, as resonance. You chose yourself and reality says yes. Finally, we have been waiting for you to remember. So remember. And if you forget, come back. This message is not going anywhere. This truth is not going anywhere, and neither is the part of you that recognizes it. It has been there all along. Patient, quiet, unbreakable, waiting for you to turn around and see what was always standing right behind you. Yourself, whole, worthy, chosen, not by the world, by you. And that is the only choosing that was ever going to set you free. If these words reached something real inside you, if you felt even a flicker of recognition, leave one word in the comments. Just one word that represents what you are feeling right now. And if you are ready to keep walking this path, to keep choosing yourself in a world that will constantly tempt you to abandon that choice, stay close. Subscribe. Come back. Not for me, for you. For the version of you that is just beginning to believe that maybe, just maybe, you were worth choosing all along. You were. You are. You always will be. Now that you have chosen yourself, go watch your asang. Timeline is shifting right now. And your nervous system already knows, because it will show you exactly what happens in your body and your reality once that inner choice locks in, and why the shifts you're already feeling are not random, they are confirmation.